don't make sense when I got millions on my mind.
This lyric from Post Malone's 2017 hit song, Congratulations, became not only one of my favorite lyrics of all time, but also just one of my favorite sayings ever. There's confusing beauty and genius behind the madness of these lyrics. First, the homophone of sense, or is it sense? This is completely ambiguous to the listener, and it opens the door to this intriguing double entendre. On Google, when you first search the lyrics for Congratulations, this is what it says. But if you look it up on Genius, it says this. There are two sides to this literal coin. The reason why a coin is such a good analogy for this is because no matter which side of the coin you're on, it still holds the same value. Both sides of the homophone gives value to the listener, much like how a coin does to the consumer. But let's address the head side first, the genius interpretation. This is the most common interpretation of the lyric. Many people believe this interpretation to be the only right one. But again, there's two sides of the coin. This elucidation of the lyric is a lot more stock, modern, rich, stereotypical rapper. Post Malone is making millions of dollars through his music, so why should the most minuscule amount of currency even pass his mind? But there's more to this saying. This could speak out to the common poor person and to every person in the middle class. The song isn't just about congratulating Post Malone for making it. It's also congratulating the listener. It's asking people in the middle class or for people who are working for their dreams to not settle for just cents, but to only work for the millions, to ask for more and to never scrape on the ground for coins. This is about so much more than just throwing dollar bills at a strip club and popping bottles for models. It's about not selling for the lowest form of currency, the lowest form of life, and the lowest form of yourself. Now the tail side is a lot more overlooked. How can I make sense when I got millions on my mind? Personally, this meaning of the lyric is my personal favorite and the interpretation I choose to go by. This interpretation intertwines with believing in yourself, not caring about what others think, and focusing on what you want to achieve. All of these are values I personally commend. I like to imagine a young Post Malone saying this exact interpretation to people who have doubted him. If you don't know Post Malone's backstory, he dropped out of college and moved to LA to fulfill his dream. He wanted to become a professional singer, and rightfully so, he had a lot of talent. So he moved to LA, and he lived in his friend Jason's closet. He was basically homeless. But Post had a vision, and he didn't let anyone cloud it. Although there is another side of this interpretation. Someone on Reddit argued that because he had millions of dollars, it clouded his judgment. But again, that's just the modern stock stereotypical interpretation. There's a lot more to this lyric than just that. In fact, I'd argue it's the exact opposite. The whole premise of the song is to congratulate people who have worked hard, and to inspire those to do the same. Post Malone doesn't make sense to the average person. It doesn't make sense to the people who settle for cents. As an entrepreneur and a person who likes to dream big, this interpretation of his lyric has kept me going in the face of criticism. Of course, big dreams won't make sense to small dreamers. Of course, big things won't make sense to people with only little things. Of course, millions only make sense to million-dollar mindsets. People only understand what they're comfortable with. So when Post leaves his hometown to chase his millions, he's criticized because he doesn't make sense to the people around him. He doesn't make sense to anyone else but himself, and he embraces it. He understands that what he's doing is part of the 1%, and to be a part of the 1%, you can't be like everyone else. I mean, how could he? He has millions on his mind. This double entendre of how could I make sense and sense when I've got millions on my mind has only grown my entrepreneurial spirit. Anytime I question if what I'm doing is right, I refer back to this quote. Whether that's starting a YouTube channel, a business, dreaming of getting into a good school, people are going to doubt you. But it's because your million-dollar ideas don't make sense to them.
Kinda like the feeling after your first kiss, except that every day she makes me feel like